this is Lo, and today I'm going to share with you guys a little bit of a gear hack tip which I've learned just recently and I've been implementing on most of my backpacks. I have here my Spec Ops brand Tactical Holds Everything EDC pack, and what we're going to do is we're going to change the zipper pulls from the stock ones to these heat shrink tube type zippers. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do it first, and then we'll talk about benefits later on if you want to watch it. Okay, so first you're gonna need a few things. Heat shrink tube, that's a given. This is 6mm heat shrink tube. I can get them for about 90 cents for a meter in Malaysia. 90 cents is in Malaysian ringgit. You're gonna want a nice, good, strong top cord. I recommend paracord, 550 paracord. It's strong. If you needed to, you could always open it up, gut it, take out the core strands and use it for whatever emergency that you have. And of course, we're gonna wanna have a heating element. For me, I'm just gonna use this cheap jet type lighter. You can use a heat gun, you can use a hair dryer as well if you want. Just don't forget to protect the bag from the high temperatures that you're going to be putting towards the heat shrink tube. Now I like to use this for a few reasons. First of all, because it's a jet, I can actually heat up the heat shrink tube from a further distance. Also, I can choose where I want to heat up, and you'll see why that's important in a moment. Okay, if you are careful, you do not concentrate the heat in one section, you are not going to burn the heat shrink tube, and you'll have a very nice zipper pull afterwards. All right, so the first thing that you have to do is, of course, you've got to take off the original zipper pull. Okay, and next thing you want to do, okay, so you've got the slider lug over here. Take the paracord and put it through. Okay. Once you've got it through like that, you'll want to take your heat shrink tube and put the cordage through it. Alright, once you've done that, you can grab one of your tack links, okay, and put it in beneath the heat shrink tube, just to give you a little bit of space in case you wanted to put your tack link in there. And I'll tell you why that might be important later on. So we don't want the heat shrink tube to move after we've set the distance that we want. So what we're going to do is we're just going to heat it up somewhere in the center so that it kind of grabs onto the paracord and it stops moving. Alright, so you can see that it's already shrunk in, and it's at this point that it's not really going to move anymore, and we can take out our tack link. Okay, then now we just heat up the rest of the heat shrink tube. Alright, let's heat it up on one side. Heat up on the other. Now you're going to want to make sure that you don't miss any parts. If you do, just run the fire over it a little bit more and it'll be fine. Alright, so once you're done heating it up, the heat shrink tube is going to be a little bit soft and it's still a little bit malleable, so you don't really want to touch it, because if you do, it will lose its shape, and when it cools down, it's going to solidify in that lost shape. Alright, so after letting it cool for a while, now what we're going to do is we're going to tie as close to the heat shrink tube as possible, and a very simple overhand knot. If you do not know how to tie an overhand knot, it's one of the simplest knots around. You can go on to YouTube and they'll teach you how to do it. It's just a simple overhand knot. Alright, so once that's done, you've got it tied off and it's nice and tight right now, and the heat shrink tube is starting to cool down. What we want to do next is we want to cut this short. Yeah, this knife is not overkill, trust me. Alright, maybe it is. Okay, so let's just take our lighter back again, heat up the ends, and just seal it off. Now, if you've got an expensive lighter, of course don't use the body to do it. This is cheap and I got quite a few of it, so it doesn't really bother me. Alright, so that's it. We have just changed our zipper pull into something a little bit more functional, something that's easier to use. Alright, so let's talk about why we should change out the zipper pulls on your bags. Now, sometimes you get zipper pulls which are made from metal, and when they're close together and you're walking down the street, they're going to hit each other, in which case it's going to cause some sound, which to me is a little bit annoying. So changing it out to something like this actually makes your gear a little bit more silent. Another reason is sometimes the zipper pulls that they give you are going to be made of just cord, and it's a little bit short. Now if you notice, this bag has quite a broad rain cover flap for the zip. Okay, let's just open that up. So if it had a short zipper pull on this guy and the flap was closed down, it's very easy for that zipper pull to get tucked underneath this flap and be hidden. Now the problem with that is if I am in a hurry and I need to access something for the bag real quick, at first I'm gonna have to look for the zipper. I can't see it, alright, so I'm gonna have to look physically all over the tracks for the zipper. So that might start to get annoying and somewhat frustrating. The second part is because it's so short, it's kind of hard for me to grab in onto it. And if I wanted to pull it out, and again, I don't have a very good purchase on it, it's going to be a little bit difficult for me to open and close the zippers. So by extending it like this and using the heat shrink tube to give it a little bit more rigidity, it increases the profile of the zipper, so it's easy for my eyes to look for it. And now, because it's got some better rigidity, it's also easier for me to manipulate to open and close these zippers. Alright, now I know some of you are going to argue that making your zippers higher profile and easier to manipulate might actually make it a bit of a security risk, saying that thieves will now be able to spot the zippers a little bit easier, and it might also make it easier for them to open the bag without causing too much movement and alerting you. And to a certain degree, I do agree with you. If you're in an environment where there's a high likelihood of people trying to get into your bag or pickpocketing you or stealing things from your backpack, then you should keep your head on a swivel and apply this next gear hack. So what you'd need is just a tack link, and if you remember when we were making the zipper pull, we specifically left a little bit of space at the bottom here like this, and that is actually to accommodate your tack link. All you got to do now, again, if you're in an environment where there's a likelihood that someone's going to steal from your backpack or put some contraband in, all you got to do is just put the tack link through these zipper pull holes, pull it off to the side, and just lash it into your compression strap like this. Okay, it kind of locks your zipper pulls and it doesn't make it as easy to open up your bag as it generally would be. And hopefully that serves two purposes. The first one is as a deterrent. If they see that you've taken measures to prevent people from breaking in, they might think that's a little bit too difficult and it's not worth their time, and they'll look for someone else who's an easier mark. Now the second one is if they are persistent and they still want to take something out of your bag, now they're gonna have to not only locate where you put all the zippers together, they're also going to have to unhook the tack link and take the tack link out from your zipper pull holes. So by doing that, hopefully it forces them to generate more movement than they'd like, and you would be alerted to the fact that someone's trying to break into your bag and you'd be able to take action. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and I hope that video was informative and useful to you guys. Do help us out by liking this video, subscribing, and maybe sharing it with your friends. Stay tuned, we will have more content, we'll have more gear hacks, we'll have more tips, and probably more reviews as well. Anyways, stay safe guys, I'll see you all around.